Hey, it's Roy Richardson, your friendly neighborhood tech troublemaker. And have you monetized your channel yet? Have you monetized your content creation? Do you know that you can start selling stuff now? You can monetize without waiting to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, or 1,000 subscribers and 10 million views in 90 days. And the person that's going to help me talk to you about this is none other than James Hicks from Hicks
What in
Media.
the world is going on? Who is this guy on the screen? Oh my goodness. How's it going, man?
It's going good, man. How you doing tonight?
Fantastic, fantastic. It's been a multi-stream day, and listen, I am definitely looking forward to having this conversation. So I thank you for the opportunity and for the invitation.
Yeah, when I was on your show back in December, and you kept talking about all the different things. That was an amazing live stream when you had all those creators on. You had Steve Worthy and Walter Strong and a couple others, and man, it was just a really an amazing conversation. All of you have figured out how to kind of monetize and work out different ways that are over and above what you get from YouTube or what you get from
Mm,
Facebook or
hmm.
Instagram. And that's the thing, is a lot of creators think, oh, I've got to get those guidelines before I can ever monetize. And that's not true. There are so many things you can be doing now to earn money, because my job is to give people information, and I
Yeah,
want to teach people things that I've learned. And it costs money to buy the gear and all that kind of stuff. So while I'm not looking to get rich, it's kind of like, hey, it'd be nice to be able to make this break even. And so what was your thought process? What got you started? Said, look, I hit the wall, it's time to monetize, and figure out a business strategy, turn this hobby into a business. And what
yeah,
was that?
yeah. I mean, really, my whole drive, my whole passion around spreading and having content is shepherding the community, right? Telling stories and having at times whatever those awkward conversations are, maybe, but making sure that I'm providing content that resonates with the community that reaches out to me and that looks to me to have the platform. So the financial piece, the monetization piece from the beginning was really just an added benefit that would come eventually. I still uh, like to keep that frame of mind that, again, I am doing this as a servant and as a shepherd to the community, and the rewards of deposits at the bank account or whatever the case may be, or gear or whatever, right? Just collaboration, networking, things of that nature will come when you do good things. Good will happen around you and for you and to you. So my whole premise is just continue to deliver great content, continue to have quality conversations that bring value, continue to meet folks, continue to not be that smartest person in the room, because if I am, I'm in the wrong room, right? I always want to be where I'm learning and constantly evolving, getting feedback and getting criticism from folks around me within my sphere, with around me in my inner circles, so that I can continue to evolve, so that I can continue to get better by 1% every single month, every single year, whatever the case may be. So, yeah, I mean, monetization is a great thing, right? When it comes to creating content, you want to see some type of reward from your efforts, and those rewards from a success perspective are different from everyone. Not everyone needs to be or wants to be monetized, right? They just want to have either the subscriber count or the following count, or the engagement from the folks in the audience during either lives or during the replays and things of that nature. For others, it is getting that free stuff, doing brand deals, brand partnerships, and getting free microphones and free computers and free phones, or whatever the case may be. And for another third of it, again, it probably more likely is that financial piece of having those deposits come. And I kind of told you before we went live, the 21st is a great day because today's the day that the Google AdSense checks hit. So I always love the 21st of the month because I get that email from Google. But again, that's just a cool thing to have as well. But understanding as well that these things come in time. These things come after putting in the work. Understanding that it is a process, that it is a marathon, that it's going to take time to grow into yourself as a content creator, as a solopreneur, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, side hustle, whatever the case, whatever you want to label yourself as. Don't expect it to come day one, week one, month one, because then I honestly think you don't respect the process. You don't respect the journey because you haven't fallen down and gotten up, brushed
Yeah.
yourself off and said, okay, let me try something different, or let me go find a coach. Let me go find a community. Let me go find some other folks that I can engage with to help me do better and be better as I progress forward. So long-winded answer, but you've had me on your show before. I talk a lot. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
that's all good. I know we got some folks out here tonight, and I want to say hi to them real quick. There's Sammy Superstar,
Sammy
Dagan,
Superstar.
Sammy Superstar, James Hicks. Yep. Yeah. It says Florence says she is ready with pen and paper.
Hey, Flo.
Hey, Tina, Anna, Equip saying hi to Joshua. Hey, Flo. Steve Worthy in the house. Yeah, James, you don't have to worry about me being the smartest person in the room now.
You got some moderators to kick him to the curb. See, there he go, man. I'm always he always give me a hard time. I'm always hype him up. This brother always coming with this
Yeah.
salt in the wounds. Okay.
And Tina says bring value is something that sometimes gets lost in the process numbers, and that is 100%. I agree. I would rather get a comment from somebody that says, "Hey, your video was a huge help to me," than anything. That to me is the biggest joy about this content creation process.
And then, so think about it. Then you have an action item. Yeah, you get the comment, but be proactive and respond back to that comment, right? Because that shows that you value the folks that come and consume what it is that you're delivering. So I do try to be very proactive, and every time someone leaves a comment, I'll either heart it, I'll either pen it, but I'll always respond back to that individual. If it's positive and or negative, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I will still acknowledge the fact that, listen, you took the time, Roy, to actually comment on a piece of content that I put out there, and I will at least respect the fact that you took that time, and I will respond back as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So, all right. So I want to kind of go through some things. I just want to talk through some things. So this is kind of like the basics here. Content creation. So, first of all, everybody knows whatever platform you're on. My preferred platform is YouTube. You got to have that 1,000 subscribers or 4,000 watch hours, or 1,000 subscribers and 10 million shorts views in 90 days. And then for Facebook, if you want to sell stars, you got to have 1,000 followers for 60 days. If you want to do reels, you got to have 5,000 followers, 60,000 minutes viewed in 60 days. And if you want to do subscriptions, you want to sell subscriptions, 10,000 followers or 50,000 post engagements. And then for those that are TikTokers, you got to be at least 18, have at least 10,000 followers, at least 100,000 video views in the last 30 days, and you have to post original content. You do on the other platforms too, but yeah. And then, so let's talk about an LLC. So,
one thing before you continue on, on your previous slide, you did make the distinction on YouTube that 4,000 watch hours is within a calendar year. So that has to be within a calendar year as well,
within 365 days, a rolling 365 days too.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely appreciate that. That's a good point for anybody that doesn't know that. Now let's talk about LLC. So, a lot of people say, you know what, I am spending so much on this hobby. I want to figure out some way to turn it into a business. And for some people, that logical step is to do an LLC, or even if you're really crazy, a corporation. But an LLC is the most simple. What made you decide, hey, this is time that I need to turn this into a business? When did you make that distinction? What was the trigger for that?
When I did start making additional funds, when I did start having larger scale brand deals, when organizations started flying me out to on location to actually cover particular events, when there was more skin in the game from a resource and a time commitment perspective on my end. So didn't have to, but it made sense, and it was the right thing for me to do at the particular time. Again, my whole jumping over the broom perspective and time point was, again, when the 21st of the month started happening on a regular basis from an AdSense perspective, when some of the diversification of assets, being either products and or services, started kicking in even more on a regular basis. And also, like I say, when some brands started saying, James, we want to fly you to this location and we want you to cover this particular event for this particular amount. So when those three things really started to fall in place on a more consistent basis for me, I said, now's the time to really say, I've got to put the skin in the game. I actually have to put that framework and that foundation in such that in case something happens, in case there's some liability, in case there's some conversation about contracts or conversation about NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, or anything of that nature, that there was some protection for me. And then if I'm going to start bringing in some additional resources like an editor or a videographer or someone else to help with the content delivery and our creation, that they're protected as well. So,
yeah, good stuff there. So yeah, and what a limited liability, what an LLC is. It's
say that 5 times fast, right?
Yeah, say it 5 times fast. It's basically a business structure allowed by state statute, and each state is totally different in their LLCs. So you have to find out. Some it's really, really expensive. Some states it's really cheap. And you have to check with your state if you're interested in starting a company. And then the owners of the LLC are called members. And you can have a single member, you can have multiple members. And that's from IRS.gov. That's their definition of an LLC.
Yeah. I live in California, so nothing's cheap here in this state. But filing for taxes for LLC, the dates are different. It's not August 15th. It's actually It was March. I don't think it was March 12th, whatever the case may be. But already done it. But I try to block it out of my head now. But yeah, each state is different. There are a number of services and online providers that will assist with that. I use a service that actually kind of helped me from A to Z in terms of setting up the tax preparation, setting up the LLC, setting up the EIN, setting up all the framework and the foundational pieces to be a legitimized and legitimate business out there. And then the fact, again, that it's a sole LLC, each individual, let's say Steve Worthy was a member of the LLC, he would be separated from, again, my liability, my responsibility, my credit worthiness, or my financial backing, things of that nature as well. So the way that I've got my particular organization, Hicks New Media, split off is that others that come in as partners aren't financially responsible from a personal perspective. Again, that's why that EIN number, that employee identification number, is actually separate than your typical Social Security number. But I'm not going to bring Steve in. He's. I got to watch out for him. So
that you do have to watch Steve. It's true.
You got to watch out for that guy.
And some of the benefits of LLC is, one, it protects your personal property. So you're creating an entity, and everything falls under the umbrella of that. That doesn't mean you can't have a lawsuit, but usually that business is the only thing liable if anything happens. It's a lot simpler for bookkeeping, unless you live in California. Compared to forming a corporation, and it gives you an avenue to potentially write off costs dedicated to content creation. So if you are buying equipment only for content creation, then that's your work environment, your business that needs that equipment. Therefore, you potentially could write those expenses off. You got to check with a tax professional. This is not tax advice.
That's true.
That's true. Say that. And then here's some best practices. You need to have a mailing address that's separate from your residence. The reason you want to do that is to
what is it? The UPS store and all that. They're all good. PO boxes. Yeah. If you got a whole bunch of Amazon deliveries coming to you, but man, you have to have that physical mailing address. You have to have I don't have a landline. Everything runs through my mobile phone. But again, you got to have identified domain, email address as well, business domain, not your Google.com. Not your Hotmail or your Gmail. You actually have to have an official. You don't have to, but you really should. Best practice would be to have your own official domain name from an email perspective, and that mailing list, that physical mailing address, is very critical as well.
And those are things that lend credibility to you.
Geez, you got that written down. I'm sorry, you got that written down on your list.
No, I'm just gonna say I know. You're backing up what I'm. I went out and researched this ahead of time because I want to make sure, you need to have a separate bank account for your business.
Huge.
You need to keep every receipt.
Yeah.
And you need to, have a separate email address for correspondence. You want to make sure that you can't it's harder for people to scam you or your business by making those be separate things. And so that's really
Yeah.
what that
That's
is.
important. So, and think about it, because again, now it is your business. Right now, you are ultimately responsible for all the transactions, all the debits and the credits. So maintaining a system, a frame of work, a kind of a standard operating procedures where you know what comes in, when it comes out, and all of those aspects. Maintain those receipts. Do it digital. Don't try to have the old school file in your desk where you just got a whole bunch of printed receipts. Maintain the digital copy so that you can take those to your tax preparer at the end of the year, get the proper deductions that you are qualified for at the end of the year for tax time and things of that nature. But maintaining your records, maintaining a division between your personal finance and your business finance is critical as well. I mean, there are times when you want to buy that new piece of gear or that new software, or that you want to buy that trip to go to a particular conference, and you want to dip into the family Visa account, right? As opposed to going through your business account, things of that nature. It gets real cloudy. And again, if something was to transpire, something was to go down from a negative perspective, that can come back and bite you in the long term. So maintain separate accounts from that perspective, especially when dealing with money, especially when dealing with brands as well, large brands where you have a contract in place as well. You just do that. If you don't take anything else from me, just do that.
All right, we got some questions out there.
Oh,
Florence asks, what are your thoughts on openly sharing with your audience about your products and services?
that's the only way they're going to find out about you.
Yeah.
You got to talk about it. Don't be humble, right? Tell folks what it is that you do. If you're an expert, if you're a trusted advisor, if you're a subject matter expert, and if you're looking to build your brand, build your business, because you are the brand as well, let folks know. Yeah. And so also, without being humble about telling people what it is that you do not be afraid to charge for service. Do not be afraid to charge quality price for quality product and or service. People pay attention to what they pay for. So a lot of times folks will undervalue, underestimate, negotiate themselves when it comes to doing a product and or a service. When you look at all of the time, effort, materials, energy that goes into putting out a product, live production like this, or remotely producing a product, there's a lot of time that goes into that, and your time is valuable. And make sure that's included in the quote and the estimate up front.
Okay. Here's another question from Tina. When you spend so much on enrolling in classes related to streaming equipment, subscriptions to streaming, and digital creation apps and software like Ecamm, Canva, etc. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, there's part 2. Let's finish it. The rest of the question is part 2. When do you say you're spending too much and not really getting return on investment at par with how much you spend?
Man, that's a great, listen, that's the question right there, right?
Yeah.
There's always the gas. There's always the gear acquisition syndrome. There's always the fact that, oh man, there's your new shiny object. Got to go get it, right? AppSumo is a beast. AppSumo with their LTDs, listen, they got me too. But there is that point where you got to draw that line. That's a great question, Tina. I mean, that question is actually could be a whole topic in and of itself. But there is that point where you put that line in the sand and say, and it's not about the gear. It's not about the infrastructure. It's not about the stuff. If you're looking to be a digital content creator, press record, turn the lights on, and go. Do the thing, right? If you're looking to host and have a workshop or master class or conference or whatever the case may be, put the framework in place to actually get that done. Yeah, evolve into these different tool sets, evolve into these different SaaS platforms and these workflow shortcuts and things of that. And they're going to continue to evolve. Today, you may use ClickUp. Tomorrow, you may use Notion. The next day, you may use Asana. They all do essentially the same thing. But again, find the one that works for you and stick with it. Never be out there trying to chase the next best thing. Like, I got one finger pointing out at you and 3 fingers pointing back at me as well. Because listen, again, I've gone through that as well. But really, getting comfortable with the gear, the equipment, the infrastructure, the tools that you have first before seeing something else that's out there that may lighten the load or ease the workflow. If you know Notion, use Notion. Just because ClickUp can do one or two things a little bit different. And I didn't really want to talk about specific brands and products and services, but just using that as reference. But if you can work yourself around a particular tool set, get that, master that, and then continue to evolve and move on. But remember, again, from a content creation perspective, the most important thing is the content, not all that other stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's definitely a big mistake a lot of creators make, is they buy all this gear. I've seen people buy like a bunch of gear all at once, and they don't know how to work any one piece of that gear. So it's so important that I suggest upgrading one piece at a time and learning everything you possibly can about that new piece to your rig setup, and then you can invest in the next thing. And then as far as courses and stuff go, if it's going to improve you for your community, then and it's worth your investment and time, then yes, make those investments. But you've got to be strategic. Is it going to benefit your community? That's important.
I mean, literally put some time on the calendar, physically write it down on the calendar and say, maybe this quarter or the next, a particular quarter of the year, this is my quarter for new assets, new infrastructure, new technology, new tools. So only in April, May, and June will I look at evolving my CRM, evolving my calendar scheduling application, my live streaming program, things of that nature. Outside of that, get to know what you got. Read the manual on your camera. Read the manual on your audio mixer. Read the manual on how to properly white balance your environment, right? Know what you already have in place before trying to evolve out of it already, before you've even taken advantage of the tool that you have in place. Because you may actually have the answer already in your applications folder that you've been looking for, without having to spend another $299, $300 on an annual subscription. You may be okay. So that's my thought on that, right? Just pick a season of the year to where you say, this is when I'm going to do my refresh of my infrastructure, my tools, and my skills and things of that nature.
Okay. Anna's got a question. Does shorts count as watch hours? Unfortunately, I know that you're on YouTube. The shorts only count toward shorts views. They don't count toward your long form videos. So that 4,000 watch hours is exclusively long form videos, your video on demand, or your live streams. It's not, doesn't account your shorts, unfortunately. I wish it did, because I had a couple of shorts do really well. Like, I could really use those watch time.
But what shorts do when you are monetized, they can be monetized after you've already crossed that threshold, right? Then shorts watch time can be included within your monetization metrics.
True. Tina asks, when do you know to adjust your expenses related to content creation and streaming?
Adjust my expenses related to content creation and streaming. Go a little bit deeper into that, and then help me out with that.
Yeah, Tina, give us a little more information on that question. I think I know where you're going. Probably more of, how do you know you've spent too much and it's time to cut back, I think. But let's see.
Before the bank account gets to zero.
Yeah, before the bank. Sure, yes.
No.
Yeah. Let's see. Robert says, when the energy and resource needs opportunities align, a great time to jump on an LLC. So, Florence.
Good to see you, Robert.
Let's see. Tall boy saying, hi, guys.
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you. What's up? Yep. Great feedback with separate accounts. Equip Institute, yes. Share that information with your audience all day, every day. You have to be able to cut through the noise. Let's see. Definitely. So Tallboy is asking, so creating shorts are not worth it? That's not true.
And so Corey, you're already monetized. Now, depending on your specific situation, depending on what channel that you push out shorts. So if you pushed out shorts today on the lab account, you won't get any revenue from that, and they won't necessarily count towards getting to a monetization point. But if you pushed out shorts on your I Am Tallboy account, that is where, and if you've already gone through your studio and turned on the revenue recognition for your shorts, then you will get paid for that, and those will count in addition to time and let's say the financial piece.
Yeah, he says no watch hours,
Correct.
Watch hours up for you if you're not. Yeah, now on the lab, so he's talking about his other. Yeah. And the thing is unless you are just blowing up shorts, those folks are not making a lot of money right now.
That is true.
I've been seeing the reports. It's like, wow.
But you know what? The thing is though, shorts mean, and again, it depends on what your measurement of success is, and what and your why for creating all of these pieces of micro content, right? Because you can be on a lot of platforms pushing out all of your information. You could be on YouTube, you can be on TikTok, you can be on Fanbase, you can be on all these places pushing out your content. Does it really matter? Does it really resonate with your community? Or are you trying to literally build a community at all these locations? And then I would question you on that as well, because each of those different platforms has a different consumption criteria. Fan base is different than a Clubhouse. They look different, but they're kind of different, but they are different. Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok, right? I mean, they're different audiences. They're different demographics as well. So if you're trying to build a community in one location and you copy and paste and send that same content from IG to TikTok, it's going to look different. It's going to have that watermark on it. And again, not many people are going to recognize that. But again, there is a different consumption model for Instagram versus Snapchat versus TikTok versus X, Y, and Z. So as opposed to segmenting your audience to so many places, I'll ask the question, wouldn't it make sense to funnel all of those communications to one location or a smaller handset of locations to where you can really control that dynamic? You can control that messaging, as opposed to going to Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, Fanbase, this, and this. Push them to one or two locations, have everything funnel into that. That way you've got a solid message that looks the same. Every place is distributed. Your community can engage. I asked the question. I'm asking the question to everyone listening and watching as well, right? Wouldn't that make sense to me? That's what I'm literally doing right now, as opposed to trying to go to all those other places. I'm bringing everyone into two particular locations. So,
yeah, and because my thought process is, let me master one completely.
Yeah.
And then, if it makes sense, go elsewhere. Now, I do use the other platforms to do what you're saying. I funnel everybody, go to YouTube. I know that Twitter doesn't like it. I know that Instagram doesn't like it. I don't care. You want to come see what I'm really doing? Come see me on YouTube. I can give you snippets on Instagram. I can give you snippets on Twitter. I can give you snippets on Facebook. But to me,
and there's value in those snippets and those micro contents. He's in the community, in the audience right now. Sammy, look, Sammy is out there blowing up YouTube Shorts. He's making 30-second clips of talking about stuff that he knows, stuff that he loves. He's talking about microphones. He's talking about streaming platforms, and he's killing it. But, Sammy's already reached that threshold where he's monetized, so he's getting the added benefit from that. And that's actually resonating. I believe his channel has gotten a high degree of subscribers based on his continual pushing out of shorts as well. So there is value in doing that. If it makes sense for you and your community and the messages you're trying to push out, then do it. If you're just trying to be like Mike down the street, you're just trying to be like George over here on the corner because you see them doing it and you think they're blowing up, it may not resonate again with your particular community. If your community can't wrap their head or fathom around how to consume these other pieces of micro content, don't do it. Don't confuse your community, because then they'll just leave. So
I mean, I look at shorts as either promotion for bigger content I'm doing, or something I can actually do, teach quickly in a micro segment.
Yeah.
Because my thought process is do evergreen content. I don't want to do. I'm not viral. The people that have to feed the machine are going to go insane. I don't know how Mr. Beast continues at the level he does. I don't know if he can, because it's just, he literally has to spend so much more money to make the next video to try to get the views. And so there's just some creators that are just pushing so hard that at some point I'm worried about burnout for them.
Well, it all depends on your measurement of success. And it all depends on what that squad around you looks like, right? So he's got a team around him, just like Marquez. I mean, those types of folks that have been doing it for decades. They've got teams around them that are doing all of those different aspects of the business. So depending on what your measurement of success is, if that's what you're shooting for, 2 million subscribers on your channel, you're going to work. Even if you just want 3,000 subscribers on your channel, you got to work.
Right.
But just understand that the process is very critical, is very key, and respecting that process and knowing that it's the marathon. And it's not going to be a sprint. It's going to take a while. Else you're not going to enjoy it. Else you're going to burn yourself out.
Yeah, Steve says, charge your worth. If your price for your clients doesn't make you cringe when you tell someone add 25 to 40%.
Listen, that's truth right there. I have coined the phrase that people pay attention to what they pay for.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you're giving everything away, you're not necessarily providing value. Just like some of these applications, right? You go out there and you download an app off the App Store and it's a free app. Great value maybe, but it's full of ads, right? It's free because it's full of ads. No, I would much prefer to pay the one-time fee or a monthly subscription for a particular app that's going to provide me some value and some utility. Right. And that actually also means that the company providing the app is going to be in business for a while because they've got a monetization strategy. Charge your worth, folks.
Yep. So practice. We're talking about practice, not a game. Practice for you.
We talk about practice.
Yep. Sammy says it gives you some watch hours. Okay. Well, he would know because he's got it going. There are two ways. If monetization your goal, let that slide like that slider always showed earlier. And then Sammy says, master one and then go elsewhere. Yep. James, that makes total sense.
Thank you.
I'm not that motorized. I think it means monetized. Haha. 10 million views. I know for shorts. That's crazy to me. I don't know. You really have to make viral stuff. Is that supposed to happen within 3 months? Yes. 10 million views.
It is.
In 3 months. It sounds insane. There are people doing it somehow, but
there are ways to do it, and it's not cheating the system. It's not gaming the system. You know, a lot of times you'll see folks, especially on the micro content site, using trending songs, using trending hashtags, and doing aspects of that. Timing, again, 30, 60, 90 seconds, finding that right time length of that, whatever the topic is. But that's really how folks are achieving kind of that viral nature. What's funny is that it's typically what I've seen in my feeds, the micro content that goes viral is typically not the content that's within your niche. Yeah. It's actually you sitting around, maybe you're on vacation and you do a time lapse of the ocean and you put some cool music behind it and you put a motivational quote on it and everyone watches that. And that's the thing that blows up for you, completely outside of your typical scope of what you would post. But again, that tends to be what folks are flipping through the social network type of mindset that people maintain, right? As they're flipping left and right on their smartphones. It's crazy.
Yeah. All right, let's look at, let's go next. All right.
I told you, man, I'm long-winded, man.
That's good. You're dropping truth bombs, and we need this. We need this. So here, let's talk about ways to earn money before you even get. One is affiliate links. So selling products you already love. You don't even have to ship the product out. Somebody is going to do it for you.
Yeah.
You know, here's some examples of ones that I've used. Ecamm, Epidemic Sound, Canva, Amazon Associates. If you go look down in the description, you'll see I have a link to Ecamm and Epidemic Sound and the Canva, my affiliate links. By the way, right now, Epidemic Sound, if you sign up now, they'll give you 60 days for free if you use my affiliate link.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. So, you know, what's your experience with affiliate marketing? What kind of products have you used?
Affiliate network. Okay, let me backtrack because I can get very excited about this, and I'll even mention someone who content creators here will probably respect. Roberto Blake said this himself. You have to have, and you should, if you want to be serious about making money as a digital content creator, AdSense is only a portion of that. Yeah. What you need is 10 to 15 other sources and streams of income. Affiliate networking, affiliate marketing, and affiliate links is high on that list. The Ecamm affiliate link works wonders. That's how I'm keeping these lights on. So don't be afraid to put your and folks that are in the community that are in the comments right now, you know, shouts out too, because they know. put those affiliate links in the description of all of your videos. Put those affiliate links in the comment section. If you're talking about a product, if you're wearing some gear, you see the pillow back here, the Ecan pillow, put a link to it within the description if you're referencing it, and that revenue really helps to get those deposits passively outside of what you're doing consciously by delivering content. If you have those affiliate links within your description, folks that are going to come see it, not just doing it live, but also on the replay. They're going to share the link. It's going to blossom out to other folks that are outside of your community, and just making those recommendations, making those references, and having your own link that you can push out to say, this is something that I use, that I recommend, that I suggest. It's just going to blossom out. Affiliate links are amazing.
Yeah.
They really are.
And we were talking about this before the show, is that the important thing is to use affiliate links for products that you use, that you support, that you love. Because if you put affiliate links out there for junk, your audience is going to hold that against you, even if you don't make that product. If you if you try to sell your audience junk, you get what you get. You know, you get what you deserve, because it's not right. You need to definitely, it needs to be something, it's your integrity is on the line when you're putting products out there. So it needs to be something that you fully believe in. And so anytime I do that.
I'm going to say, because you're the face of that company that you're representing when you're making that pitch to your community at that particular point. If I didn't use Shure products, why would I just take a free microphone from them? I mean, yeah, that'd be cool, that'd be dope and all that. But again, if I didn't really believe in the product, I wouldn't use it. And I wouldn't want to put that out there on my Amazon store and say, this is the microphone by choice that I'm using. Yeah, I've used Rode. Yeah, I've used Lewitt. Yeah, I've used a whole bunch of others. Right now, in this particular season, SM7B is where I'm going. If you want one of these, here's a link to where you can go get one. Use my code. And again, that just talks to your credibility, talks to your subject matter expertise, and then your technical aptitude and your trust with your community. Because again, if you're doing it for yourself and being selfish, it's going to be a real short ride. Yeah. If you're doing this to build your community and have a long-lasting relationship, then you definitely want to make sure that you're providing them value.
Yep, definitely agree with that. All right, next up. Okay, selling branded merchandise to your community.
Come on now, hold on. Put me on big screen here. You see. Come on, man. You see the creator. You see the focus. What else we got close by? You see the book back there.
There you go. There, how about that?
There we go.
There you go. There you go.
Look at that. I made some gear for my son's his squad over at OSU. They call themselves the Lounge Lodgers over there at Oregon State University. So I made them some gear too for them, but sold a ton of it. Oh my God. But,
yeah. Okay. So if you go to his page,
social. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. There you go.
Yeah. Hicks New Media, and click on merchandise. You can go and buy his merchandise. And there's no reason why you couldn't use services such as Shopify or Teespring or Press and Sew, and make your own merchandise that represents your brand and sell that on your site. You can put links, even though, when you get up to 10,000, you can put the little store link, the actual store underneath on your page on YouTube. But until then, you can put links and say, hey, look, this is the shirt. If you wear a shirt on your show, hey, if you like this shirt, here's a link down in the description, and go and you can buy it from my store, and that type of thing. How's that working for you?
I tell you what,
really
I just
products.
Yeah, so I just made a promo code for you guys right now. H&M 15% off anything in the store. So there you go. H&M 15. If you see anything in the store that you like, use that code H&M 15 and get 15% off. This is huge for me as well. I have two primary destinations for merchandise. I still work with my legacy team over at Press and Sew. So shouts out to Sylvia and Andrew Nixon. They do some of my more focused, kind of more niche types of things, like the coffee that I had. Those types of things, and some of the canvas pieces, like the canvas that's up there on the wall right there. But more of the merchandise, from shirts and hats and water bottle, and anything, and even digital products, I'm hosting on my own here over with Fourth Wall. And the ability to create a design, the ability to pick the fabrics, pick the origin of those fabrics, to pick the pricing, to spin up promotions like I did just now, H&M 15 for everyone, right? To do those things on my own on a quick basis is incredibly important to me. And just having that service available. And I love what the gear looks like. I'm gotten a lot of compliments on the gear as well. So listen, go get yourself a creator hoodie, get yourself a focus hat, and let's do what we do. But I love it. And again, it's another one of those multiple streams of income. So when I'm not live, I have that passive capability of bringing in and conversing and collaborating and engaging with the community by seeing them post pictures. James, I got the hat, I got the mug, the coffee mug, love it, whatever the case may be. We share that across social media, and that just again blossoms the communication as well, even when we're not live streaming.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. So also, another thing you can do, donation sites. So
yeah,
Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee. By the way, if you want to scan that QR code, it will take you to my Buy Me a Coffee. And if you wanted to donate to this channel, you could. That's not a requirement, but if that's something you wanted to do, hey, there you go. There's a QR code for you. Did you do any of these, or do you do any of these currently? Like Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon.
Yeah, so I have had, and I still have active all of those, right? So the Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee, and Coffee, KOFI as well. Again, now everything is funneled through social.hicksnewmedia.com, where folks can do one-time subscriptions, or they can do recurring subscriptions, and also through the kind of the premium community that I'm spinning up, or that I spun up, that allows for folks to pay for subscriptions that way as well. So I still have the Buy Me a Coffee /James Hicks, but not promoting that as much because, again, I'm funneling folks to YouTube and to the private community. So that's where everything really resides. But these are valuable. Again, these work because, again, you can have people that do a one-time contribution to you as a sponsorship, or they can do a recurring as well. You can, I believe on Buy Me a Coffee, you can also sell digital assets, right? Ebooks and things of that nature. So, I mean, that's incredibly important.
Yeah.
It's great stuff.
You can also do a wish list item and say, like, this is something I want, and people can donate.
Right. I mean, and that's cool, right? Because the community wants to support the creator to continue to be great. And if you say, I want to get that Rodecaster Pro 2, man, it's $700. And if you guys could help me to get to that point, it would be so amazing. And people start chiming in and sending in $20 here, $5 here. Once you get to that level, have a watch party of you unboxing the thing and putting it to use. That brings in the community. That really helps solidify your relationship with them as well. And that this is a win-win kind of a proposition from doing those types of things.
Good stuff. Consulting. What are you an expert in?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have expertise, knowledge in something, if you're just really good at something. I mean, I recently read a book called Passions into Profits, Turning Passions into Profits. A really good book, by the way. And it talks about all these different things. And, so for example, they gave example, about somebody that had lost a lot of weight. They weren't a fitness guru, but they could tell people what they did to lose weight, and they were inspiring people, and they sold like memberships and that type of thing, or they did one-on-one consulting with people. And so while they didn't go to school and get certified as a fitness instructor, because they had gone on a weight loss journey and could show the results in their efforts, people considered them to be an expert, and so they were able to demonstrate to people. And so that's just an example. If you are an expert at something, for my crafting friends out there, all those craft skills that you have are amazing, and you're showing people how to do stuff on videos. But then maybe somebody wants to go a step above, and they want some one-on-one coaching, or they want your advice on a project they're working on. Sell your expertise to those people. And
I figure that if you know 10% more than me about something, you're an expert.
I got a ways to go.
But whatever it could be, right? Again, you can consider yourself an expert if you know 10% more about technology integration, about technology configuration, about system setup, about keeping it within the digital content creation ecosystem here, right? If you know 10% more about how to hook up USB versus XLR versus this, and this, and you can have that conversation with one-to-one or one-to-many, again, charge for that service because you're providing value and really tout that expertise to folks and let your good works be the marketing for that. Oh, listen, right? Roy did a fantastic job teaching me how to connect this device to this device to this device, and now I look all nice and crispy coming on the internet. You should check him out too if this is something that you're trying to do. So let that be your marketing. But again, 10% more than the next person is all you need to spin up a class and do your Kajabi or do your mighty network or whatever the case may be, right?
Yep, and we're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
Next up,
you had some interesting questions here in the chat, though. I didn't want to pass those over.
No,
man.
I don't want to pass any questions. Let's get back out there. Let's get the questions.
Let's see. Tina was quality of merch speaks about your brand. Yes, is that cotton or polyester or fleece? What I'm rocking right here. This is 100% cotton, made and distributed from the United States. So. Yeah, this one, the creator is actually all cotton. I've got some other ones that are the lightweight hoodies that are not rayon. What is it? What's the? I don't know. They're in the closet over there. But yeah, I think they're all cotton as well. Cotton blend. I don't know. Good question. I'll find out. Yeah. If you click through the links, it'll actually show what the materials are. If you go to the site and actually look at the store, you'll actually see what everything is. The polyester, cotton blends, or whatever the case may be. So
Tall Boy says burnout is real.
Burnout is true. Yep.
Very true. Trust the process.
Got to.
Sammy says he's not monetized yet. He's got the subscribers. He's just got to get that watch time.
The first time I met Sammy, he had a TV show on Amazon, and his guy isn't monetized. Come on, brother. We'll get you there, man. We'll get you there.
He says 15 seconds is the best. Says best video was 30K talking about mounting a light.
Come on now. Okay. See that? And it's still growing. It's still growing because it's always out there in perpetuity. So good stuff.
Tina says yes on the affiliate link. She's still tripping out about the 60 days there. If you use a product you're going to tell people, get paid to tell people.
Amen.
Hey, Roy and James coming in late as usual. Mommy guy, I've been enjoying your ASMR videos with the candy pouring into the bowls and stuff, and I've been watching your shorts there, so junk, yep. Donna Corey, lots of people say hi. How are you digging? Definitely, if you put any questions out there, please follow with the Q colon to make it a little bit easier for me to find them out there. I don't want to miss any question tonight, but definitely want to shout out to everybody out there. I just thank you all for coming out tonight. It's cotton or polyester fleece. There you go. I got that one.
And I saw that comment from Tallboy. Yes, spin up the store, man. I logged into it the other day, just waiting for it to go live, man. Come on, do it.
Let's see. Mommy Guy says she met Preston So through Sammy and later in Lita. And I always see Patreon. I guess it has better fees. The fees are kind of rough on both of them, on Buymeacoffee and the worst part about Buymeacoffee is that now you have to use Stripe. So Buymeacoffee gets their fee, and then Stripe gets their fee. So
it's cost of doing business, though. It's a cost of doing business, and if you're going to do services like that, and a lot more of these aggregate houses like the Patreons, the Buymeacoffees, the Coffees, and others are moving away from PayPal. They're moving to Stripe because Stripe allows for more protection of the buyer and the seller. Right. With the credit card transaction. So again, that's just unfortunately a cost of doing business. So yeah.
Mommy says she used Buymeacoffee and it was great, but stopped using when she got into YPP. The fees they are very minimal, but you need 1,000 subs to get support. So yeah, okay. And if not for awesome community I would never have learned how to do live streams, etc. Still, always constant work in progress. Yep. Awesome. And just continue on, Sammy. As I said, we're always a constant work in progress. So, yeah, that is definitely true.
Good point.
Yep. All right. So, definitely, if you are an expert in something, you could do a course. You could use Kajabi or Udemy or Teachable and create your course. I I was halfway through creating a course on Udemy, and then I stopped. I need to go back and finish that course. But anyway, my wife, because I teach part-time, have been doing that for, since 2007. I really do need to start doing some online courses on different things, and my wife fussed at me for not doing it already. So I need to do it, but I just want to make sure. I have a habit of giving too much information, and I don't want to bore people. I want to keep people in the mix and watching. So it's kind of
So
like
cut
that.
it up into segments. Cut it up into different offerings as well, right? Kind of a beginner, and intermediate, and advanced type of offering, 101, 201, 301 type of thing, and or just drip content. Charge
Yeah.
folks an X number for the first 10 slides or the first 10 practices and ideas, and then once they finish that, then they have access to the others as well. So there are many ways of doing it. There are many ways of doing it.
And then this tip: produce great videos and build a community until you reach monetization.
There you go.
I mean, that's like
Put in the work.
put in the work.
There's no shortcut. I mean, there's no magic pill. There's no get slim fast type of thing. It really is getting out there when you don't want to get out there. Get out there. At least batch something, right? At least put something in the queue to whereas on those days where you may be traveling, you may be sick, you may be preoccupied or whatever the case may be, but then you can actually flip the switch and have something going out there to your community. But there is no way of averting the process of this marathon of going out there and actually putting in the work. You're going to only be cheating yourself if you try to do that. If you go out there and try to buy the followers and buy the subscribers, it's going to backfire on you. So why not do it the right way? Especially if we're talking about elevating ourselves to a business. You want to build a business that's credible, that's reputable, that has morality and has integrity, because you're going to have folks that are going to be looking at you for guidance. And if the best thing that you can tell them is that I cheated the system and I got my 20,000 subscribers by buying them from overseas, that's not going to be a good look for you. And that's just going to reverberate out there in the ecosystem as well. So press play, press record, just go.
And the wind will eventually go out of your sales for all those
Yeah,
people
man.
you bought.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
They're not.
There's no joy. Why? There's no joy in cheating. There really isn't. There's no joy in that.
No. Plus, you appreciate the things that you worked hard and you earned.
Yep.
If you don't appreciate it, you will lose it.
Yes.
So,
and you can't build credibility, right? If you're trying to surround yourself also with like-minded folks who are winning, who are succeeding, you don't want to be the one sitting in the corner saying, yeah, I got here, but I got here by going shiesty, shady way. You want to be able to contribute to the conversation with real value and say, this is how I did this. Let's do it together. Let me help you get over whatever hump that you're at, and we can do this together, and we can celebrate it when Sammy gets to the monetization, when he gets to that point, right? So I mean that's where a lot of the joy is as well for digital coaches, for content creators, entrepreneurs who are in here. Again, it's not just doing the live streams, it's not just doing the things. It's about seeing the folks around you that you respect succeed. Because then, I mean, that's fuel there as well. When I see Roy putting out content and it's doing good, and I see he's got interviews happening, when I see Steve doing the same thing, when I see Corey doing, right, those are the things that add fuel to my tank and say, man, let's go, let's get it going, let's tighten up these thumbnails, let's tighten up these graphics, let's do something else to make sure that we're continuing to elevate the content that we're putting out there as well, because we want to be included with those types of names, folks that are doing big things.
Now, some I definitely left off the list, but definitely mailing lists. So the other catch is that a lot of people forget, you ever had a time when YouTube was down?
Yeah.
How do you communicate with your community if YouTube is down?
Mm-hmm.
If that is your primary platform? And so it's key to build a mailing list so you have a way to reach out to your community, and that. So I mean, kind of, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a critical piece of your infrastructure as well. And there are we could go down a list of specific tools that are out there, but for the most part, the majority of the tools out there will do what you need it to do. right? Again, you want to capture names, you want to capture emails, maybe phone numbers. You don't really necessarily need to capture addresses unless, again, that's just in your particular wheelhouse. But keep that so you can have not just that mailing list, but so you can have a regular, recurring, consistent newsletter. So you can actually push out information about the projects that you're working on, the workshops that you're hosting, the meetups that you're going to be at, and the things that you're doing, and provide a two-way feedback mechanism for your community. So having that email, knowing this is my challenge, and here I'm going on a tangent. This is my one challenge with Discord. Because Discord doesn't, by default, right? You can build a very robust and engaged conversation, but by default, it doesn't capture emails, and you don't necessarily have the person's real name. That you got their screen name. So that was, and I know there are probably folks watching or going to listen that are diehard Discord fans. And listen, I love it, appreciate you, and you listen, do your thing, more power. I've got a Discord channel as well, but I'm moving folks off of it. But that was my challenge with that, right? The fact that it's not where I can easily, without having to install a whole bunch of different bots to control the environment, that I can grab those names, those real names, and those email addresses. So definitely do that so you can have your newsletter going out.
Okay. And if you go to techtrollmaker.com, you can subscribe. I do have a newsletter. The first issue went out last week. It comes out every Thursday. It covers content creation topics and then just links that I found that are very interesting that you may not have come across on the internet. So just kind of funny things happening in social media that I see happening. So the reviews have been positive so far. I got some really good feedback from Florence. I really do appreciate the beta crew, the folks that signed up for the first newsletter. I really do appreciate that. So if you're interested in seeing what's going to happen there, the format will get better, I promise. So I do appreciate my beta testers out there.
Cool.
So let's talk about your places that you are out there. Now I showed it a little bit, but let's go more. First of all, if you are not a subscriber to James Hicks' channel, you absolutely need to. I'm going to tell you, he does some really thought-provoking episodes. You really don't think about the impact of sports on society until you hear the conversations that he has with his guests that are on the show. And then he brings up some really interesting social topics, things about social justice and that type of thing. And so, of course, I really should just let you promote yourself. You just tell everybody.
I'm vibing with this music that you got in the background. Shout out to Epidemic Sound. You use Roy's link so you can get, what is it, 60 days free with that?
Yeah, right now, between now and the end of March, you can get 60 days free with Epidemic Sound.
Okay, I did that for you there.
Thank you.
No, listen, man, I'm just focused on digital publishing and technology consulting, pushing out stories and information that bring value to the community. And we are, again, having those at times awkward conversations that need to be had. And specifically on Team No Sleep, like you said, we talk about the social impact of sport, because when we look at our youth, primarily, they are attracted and drawn to a lot of entertainers, actors, celebrities, and things, and athletes. And those tend to be their role models. But when you actually see that the John Morants of the world are out here doing certain things when they're off the court that need to be discussed, need to be dissected, need to be understood. When we start talking about the Naomi Osakas and the mental health awareness, things of that nature, a lot of our youth, again, are going through these challenges. And unfortunately, there's a lot of noise on the internet that they're being sucked into. I'm trying to rise above that noise and have these more in-depth conversations. And today I did a session on perspectives and focus, talking about mentally at work, really being cognizant from an employer and an employee perspective on this whole remote hybrid working environment. And then I also had a session earlier today as well with Rocky Nash on the Digital Collective, talking about getting out of your way when it comes to content creation, using what you have, using that mobile phone. You don't have to have that FX30. You don't have to have that A7R5. You can use that iPhone 10, 14, or that Google Pixel, whatever, and still be out there getting brand deals, creating great content, and being an influencer within your industry. So, yeah, we're just out here having fun, man. We're just out here having some great conversation with some great people. So, thanks.
Yeah, definitely. And as well, you need to go to hicksnewmedia.com.
That's the home.
Yep. This is, if you want to find all things James Hicks, this is where you got to go. You go here, it'll put you to his YouTube channel, it'll put you to all his places on social. So definitely go out there and definitely see what he's all about. So I definitely recommend that. And James is just an awesome guy, and I really do appreciate you being on the show tonight. Thank you, sir. There's just a lot of great knowledge shared tonight, and I do appreciate that.
Thank you, brother. Listen, I appreciate it, and this is what we do, right? Collaborate and have these types of conversations. I'm always open to. I don't know everything, right? But I know what I know, and I have folks within the Rolodex who I can help point folks to if they have some additional inquiries, additional questions that they're looking forward to. So let's just thrive and grow together. That's what it's all about. So again, thanks for the invite.
All right. That's it. The last thing I'm going to say is I have to give you a call to action. So everybody, subscribe. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, subscribe. Hit that notification button so you know when I'm going live. And also be sure to hit the like button to let YouTube know that, hey, you kind of like my stuff. I do appreciate it. And that is it. We're out of time. Hope you had a great night and hope you enjoyed the show. Team Replay in the house. Leave me a comment so I know you watched. Let's see. All right, so that YouTube's going to tell you some video you need to watch. Whatever it tells you next, that's probably the one you should watch on my channel. So thanks so much, and have a great night. Bye.